needs the reps more than Matthew Stafford, God forbid.
Right. Some ticket text, 97136. My takeaway on the Lions is that Hawkinson is a small tight end. That's from Joe from Marysville. That wasn't my take.
No.
I like the way Hawkinson is.
Yeah.
Having had sufficient time to ruminate and reflect, my impression of the Lions is that they still suck. They apparently have absolutely no depth, and the offensive line will be as porous as Swiss cheese. That's from Terry in Sterling Heights. Okay, Terry, my question to you is, and maybe this is fair, are you watching any other preseason football? Because I haven't watched a ton, but the other preseason football that I've watched, the results are eerily similar.
Yeah.
No team looks all that good. Yes, you have your occasional Daniel Jones, who looks very good in the two games so far with the Giants. And you have your moments with guys like Mahomes, who are doing exactly what you need your guys to do. But I mean, Kyler Murray went from looking like the next great thing in the NFL in week 1 to way too small and not very good under pressure in week 2 against the Raiders.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, the offensive line, it hasn't looked stellar so far. That is one thing I'll agree on. But other than that, I mean, the depth, their third stringers aren't really good, maybe. But how many teams have good third stringers?
Right.
I mean, look, we talked about the guys we thought looked good. I'll tell you who at least looks like he's regressed is Jamal Agnew. He looks like he hasn't done anything.
As a defensive back, or as a kick return?
Yeah, more as a defensive back. And actually, their kickoff returns are terrible. But, like I said, it's exhibition football. Who gives a rat's?
I mean, I want to be fair, too. We talked on Friday, what are you hoping to see from the game? And I did say, I'm hoping to see Stafford. I'm hoping to see the offense put together a nice drive. I'm hoping for one of those, when you watch preseason football and they show the bottom line, the scorebooks, and they say, Drew Brees, 3 for 4 for 66 yards and a touchdown.
Like Deshaun Watson did against the Lions.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to see as a fan. I'm not going to lie, and so not having seen that, I don't want to just go flip 180 degrees the other way and go, oh, well, everything's fine because they're not playing. I mean, we have no evidence that anything is better. We have no evidence that anything is worse. I mean, that's the way we are through 2 games where many of the players aren't playing. Ticket text 97136, Chris in Rochester. I think the Lions are doing whatever they can do to stay healthy because last year, I think the biggest issue was health. I'm not sure about that. There were a lot of issues last year. I don't know that health was necessarily the biggest one, although if Stafford was in fact playing with broken bones in his back down the stretch, that would definitely be a factor.
Somebody else, does it make a difference? Stafford's coming off an awful year, and you don't think he needs live reps? Are they allowed to wear the red jerseys during the regular season? The signs are all there that this is going to be another lost year. Cue Doug Karsh and the 10,000 mock drafts.
Oh, mock draft time.
Yeah. I understand where this texture's coming from, but if he plays something too serious, 8, 12 plays is not enough to get you ready for the game anyway.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not running the same stuff. That's what people, I don't think, understand.
Well, and the other thing, too, the counter to that is, and there's a very good chance that exact same texter, if Stafford did in fact go out there and lead a touchdown drive and then watch the rest of the game with a baseball cap on, would say, big deal.
Right.
They're going against a watered-down Texans defense. No one's trying anything. The stats don't matter. So it is a no-win situation for a guy like Matthew Stafford.
Right. Nothing in preseason, I don't think, is going to change people's opinions on Matthew Stafford.
I hope not.
Yes.
After 10 years of evidence and a lack of a win, I would hope that preseason football doesn't do very much to change it.
Now, Doug Work has a really insightful text. Let's focus on the positives. The Lions outscored the Tigers for the first time this season.
They scored 23 runs, or 23 points on Saturday night. The Tigers scored 0 runs. Yeah.
Well, the Tigers did strike out one more time.
They did. 24 strikeouts to 23 points. All right, it's 7 o'clock on 97.1 The Ticket. Tony Ortiz is here with a sports update on a Monday morning.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. A radio.com sports station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by National Benefit Plans. The Tigers end the 3-game weekend series in Tampa with a 5-4 loss yesterday to the Rays. Tampa would play a pair of runs in the bottom of the 9th inning off closer Joe Jimenez. A rally that began with a throwing error by Tigers Tigers shortstop Gordon Beckham.
It's just it's frustrating because Joe pitched pretty well. He deserved to get out of that with a save and let him down, and that's frustrating. Let the team down. It's frustrating.
That clip comes courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. That lost the 12th in the last 17 games for the Tigers. It was a record-setting Sunday for Mets rookie first baseman Pete Alonso, who homered in New York's 11-5 win over the Kansas City Royals. That blast was the 40th home run of the year for Alonso, the most in a single season for a National League rookie in baseball history. It's back to work today for the Lions as players and coaches are back at the team's complex in Allen Park for the first practice of this week. The winless Lions will take on the undefeated Buffalo Bills in preseason game number 3 Friday night at Ford Field. Justin Thomas was able to hold off a late rally from Patrick Cantlay to win the PGA Tour's BMW Championship yesterday at Medina. The win now moves the 26-year-old Thomas into first place in the overall FedEx Cup point standings with just one event left to go in this year's playoffs. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, go to 971theticket.com. Jamie. Stoney.
I should be getting laid so much more than I am.
On 97.1 The Ticket.
Jamie and Stoney together once again on 97.1 The Ticket. Heather's back as well from vacation. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Good time at the Dream Cruise. Weather forecast for today, sun and clouds, a mixture, and a high of 85 degrees. So a nice summer Monday. I know for some people it's already back to school time. Not quite for us and others, but
People are starting already?
oh yeah,
Lots have started.
yeah. Private schools, prep schools,
okay.
and stuff like that. Public
Public
schools.
schools, you can't start till after Labor Day, right?
No, they've changed that. Our public schools start next Wednesday. Oh yeah, that's crazy. I agree.
Southfield starts Monday. Next Monday.
Next Wednesday, yeah.
So,
I don't know what happened that whole law, because there was like a rule in place that Michigan public schools couldn't start till after Labor Day. But for the second year in a row, we're starting before that.
I think it's because of the rain days. All the snow and ice and those days. Maybe it pushed everything back, and maybe they're adjusting the schedule so they get a lot more days in before the weather starts.
It's good for the economy, though, like, the way we had before. People, on the weekend, north or wherever you
Well,
go.
you can still take it. I mean,
Yeah, I know, it's still a 3-day weekend.
and I think, if I'm not mistaken, they maybe give us Friday. Like, we have a couple days next week, and then Friday's off, maybe, or something like that. So it's like more of a 4-day weekend. But regardless, yes, school has already started for some, and it starts next week for most.
Next weekend, high school football starts. And college football. They'll start next week.
That's exactly
Actually,
right.
this coming weekend, right? You have what, Miami, Auburn? Is that the name?
I think.
Miami,
Florida. Miami, Florida.
Miami versus Florida in Orlando.
Isn't there an overseas game as well?
No, well, there's a Hawaii game.
Okay.
That is overseas.
Okay.
It's just a different sea. Right? You never refer to the Pacific as the overseas. It's always the Atlantic overseas.
AP poll comes out today.
Oh,
Yes, it does.
Ooh, the AP poll.
All right.
Number one.
Let's see. Michigan will be overrated.
Yeah, Michigan will be overrated. Michigan State will be underrated. And there you go.
There you go.
All right, so Stoney,
So Mike show's already clear.
while you were away, Antonio Brown didn't do anything of any substance on the football field. You aware of that?
Yeah, I am. And he didn't do much of the Hard Knocks series.
Yeah.
Although he did show his.
He did show his peely feet, yes. But they really, yeah, I've watched the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks, and the Antonio Brown portrayal has been more favorable than not.
Yes. Well, this week might be a little different.
This week might be a little bit different. Mike Mayock, who is the general manager of the Oakland Raiders, and of course formerly a draft guru, analyst, etc., is none too pleased to find. Well, I shouldn't say that. The bark is a little bit worse than the bite. This is the audio of Mike Mayock talking about Antonio Brown, who, again, if you're following along at home or not, had the issue with the feet, still does really, and that's that probably was going through cryogenic therapy and overcooked his feet, essentially, froze his feet. And then he has an issue with his helmet. The NFL had a special ruling saying that he couldn't wear the helmet that he wanted to wear. He knew this was coming, but then somebody thought they found a loophole, so then he was trying to find an older helmet that would fit in the kind of parameters that the NFL had laid out, but then the NFL came out once again and said, no, there is no loophole that you can go through here. You must have a helmet that complies with NFL rules. He went on Twitter, called the NFL a bad name, and then didn't show up for camp yesterday. Do I have that right? is correct.
Pretty much, yeah.
So this is Mike Mayock, the general manager, talking about Antonio.
We all know that AB is not here today, right? So here's the bottom line. He's upset about the helmet issue. We have supported that. We appreciate that. Okay? But at this point, we've pretty much exhausted all avenues of relief. So from our perspective, it's time for him to be all in or all out. Okay? So we're hoping he's back soon. We got 89 guys busting their tails. We are really excited about where this franchise is going, and we hope AB is going to be a big part of it starting week 1 against Denver. End of story. No question.
All right.
He walked away.
He walked away. So, Stoney, what do you think he means by all in or all out?
He wants him to be there, and I don't think he's going to cut him.
I was going to say, there's two pretty big extremes there.
Yeah.
One is you're a part of this team, you're going through practice, you're preparing for the regular season, and you're preparing to play. The other is what? You're cut?
Well, no, he could be
Traded?
They could suspend him, right?
Right.
And fine him for not being there. I'm sure that's what they'll do if, you believe Mike Mayock. But they certainly aren't going to cut him.
No, I would
mean,
think not.
they didn't give up a lot for him, but still, they ain't going to cut him.
Right, and it would be a pretty significant salary cap hit
Yes.
for a player not playing.
Exactly.
If they're going to go ahead and cut him.
What a pain in the ass. I mean, he's such a great player. Look, I don't want to poo-poo somebody's safety, or maybe, they talk about his peripheral vision with this new helmet and is good. So I understand all that. But, okay, your beef should be with the NFL. Just, you know what?
It is.
Yeah, but show up and play football.
Right.
You're screwing your team. True.
And he's actually screwing his legacy, too, because prior to last year, Antonio Brown was merely thought of as one of the best receivers in football.
Great story. I mean, he came from nowhere, then goes to Central Michigan, and mid-round draft choice and becomes the best receiver arguably in the National Football League. And was considered a pretty good teammate at one point.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you had the whole Facebook deal in the locker room, and it started but I mean, it started the Antonio Brown, great story started to erode a little bit.
Right.
And now the erosion keeps on going.
I mean, there is, on one side, there is the part of me that kind of wants to take up for him in the sense of, this is the way he's always played football, and this is like his security blanket. I mean, Brady and Rodgers are dealing with it, but at least they're technically dealing with it.
Yes.
But they have played with a certain helmet, and Brady's was on record saying he's not thrilled with it, and so you can understand not being thrilled with it, but the rules are the rules. So I don't, he's had a year to prepare for it. He knew it was coming. I don't know why he thought he was going to somehow be able to get away with it. But it starts to really make you wonder if he's building in excuses for a potential decline in play, if he's trying to make excuses for why he's not having the impact with the Raiders that maybe people thought he would, or the impact that he had with the Steelers.
Why wouldn't he though? He's coming off, he had a really good year.
I agree.
I just think he's being petulant and he's selfish. That's it.
Wait, that's fine, but he's also greedy, right? I mean, he clearly wants to get paid.
Yeah.
So is he really willing to walk away from all that over the issues over a helmet? Like, that was the story a week ago, which is, the rumors are that Antonio Brown won't play football anymore because of the rule. Well, that clearly was a joke.
Right. I heard him interviewed. He go, I'm rich anyway. I don't need football.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how quickly that happens.
Well, that lasted for about 24,
Yes.
48 hours.
Yeah.
And then the NFL intervened. They had the special arbitrator. And then clearly he's trying to find some loophole to get it back on.
He'll show up. I would assume. It's like a lot of people, you wanted him on the Lions. A lot of people say, let's go get Antonio.
Right.
Would you have wanted this headache?
I mean, I would have wanted it from a talk radio standpoint, because it would have been a lot of fun to talk about on the show, I think. And I think most people would have taken up sides, and I think majority of the people would have taken a side against him, because it seems borderline indefensible. I mean, you look at other sports, and there are rules in place, safety rules in place, and you can say, they shouldn't be, or they should be up to the player, whatever. It's like, well, there's a culpability issue, there's a liability issue, and so the players are on agreement by the league and by the Players Association.
Suppose Jimmy Howard showed up at training camp and said, you know what? I play much better without a mask.
I'm going old school.
Yeah. No mask.
I'm going no mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Play Every
Right.
other player has to wear the shield.
Exactly.
That's the rules.
And they do it for the benefit of the player.
Yeah.
So
They're even ridiculous. So he should be more pissed off about the fact that his socks have to be a certain length and all that crap that the NFL does
Oh, yeah.
that way than this. This is for his own good, right?
in theory,
Yes.
although we were talking about this last week, I don't, and I'm sure there's reasons why couldn't Antonio Brown just have his lawyers draw up some sort of a waiver saying, look, this, I agree to basically, whatever the word, what's the word I'm looking for? Exclude the NFL from all liability.
Yes.
If I
Waive
were,
liability.
Yeah, waive. I waive all, the NFL would waive all liability if I can wear this helmet. I mean, why wouldn't the NFL just go ahead and sign that? And I guess the argument we brought up last week is there's a slippery slope, and then all of a sudden you have somebody who doesn't want to wear a chin strap. You have
That
somebody-
opens up a big can of
I
worms,
guess it
Jamie.
does, and they wouldn't want to go down that road. But, I mean, again, as somebody who has not put on a football helmet in quite a few years, it's hard for me to imagine that with today's technology, that they can't make helmets. Granted, they're different, but aren't as similar as possible so that he can still be a very effective passer.
The only leg he had to stand on was basically Brady and Rodgers. If the NFL would have let them do it,
Right.
and not him, then he's sitting there
Right.
going, okay, this is absurd. But the fact that two of your most high-profile players at the most important position are acquiescing with the NFL, you know what, AB? Suck it up.
Right.
Don't be so selfish. Yes, that's it.
All right, it is coming up
Play
on
in Canada.
7:13. We will have news with Heather coming up next. Coming up at 8:35, your chance to win Tiger White Sox tickets. It's Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket. DavidHallMortgage.com. That's right, I said it. DavidHallMortgage.com. Just give them a call, 248-308-5000, and say, D-Hall, what up? Talk to the great David Hall. As you know, interest rates are the lowest they've been in years. Home values are up. If you're shopping for a home, you gotta trust the guy you're going into business with your mortgage. And David Hall is that guy. He put together Hall Mortgage because he wanted a place where he could customize his service to the customers. He wants to make sure you get the best service. They feast, if you will, on 5-star reviews. Over 750 5-star reviews. They make sure that their customers come second to none. So if you're in the market for a new home, if you're looking to refinance your mortgage, or maybe even if you're considering doing home improvements and want to know the best way to finance that, call David Hall today, 248-308-5000, or go to their website, davidhallmortgage.com.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
This report brought to you by Adam. There's brand new roadwork slowing you down on 94 heading westbound between Telegraph and 275. There's a left lane closure and a lane shift scheduled through mid-November. According to MDOT, at about 9 o'clock this morning, the left lane is scheduled to close on the eastbound side. There's also a new construction project out at M53 Van Dyke Freeway southbound from Van Dyke Road, Old Van Dyke Road to 32 Mile Road, where there's a right lane closure. Going through a divorce, thinking about handling it yourself? Don't take a chance with your future. Call the expert attorneys at Adam, 248-356-80AM. I'm Michelle Penny on the WWJ 24-hour traffic center.
Now available for download. Always aggravated. A Mike Valenti's signature podcast. Get it on radio.com and Apple iTunes. One night of drunk driving can change your life forever. And it could end someone else's. Drive sober or get pulled over. A message from the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning.
What am I driven by? Probably the music that keeps me going every day. I'm definitely more social now than I was. I met a lot of different people, different cultures. I'm more well-rounded. Being a part of these groups has helped me with speaking in front of people, with performing. Next year, I'm traveling to France with a group that I'm in. Because of my HFC education, I'm working on pushing towards future goals. I am future-driven.
What are you driving at? Find your future faster at Henry Ford College. Apply now at hfcc.edu. Mike Drozdowski, owner and CEO of Mad Creative Concepts, creates point-of-purchase displays for some of the world's largest beverage companies using high-production color printers from Applied Imaging.
The whole company overall is amazing. Their atmosphere, their culture, and everybody that works there seems to love it, so they're doing something right. service? With Spectrum Mobile, you can keep your current phone and upgrade your network. Simply pick the data plan that's right for you. Pay for the data you use or choose unlimited for just $45 a month per line. All in. And talk and text are always free. Switching is easy. Go to spectrum.com/BYOD to learn more or to find a store near you. Spectrum Internet required. Restrictions apply.
Here's great news. We're moving out the 2019s to make room for the 2020s. Now at Sarah with GMC. M53 and 30 mile. Right on the corner. At Sarah, we've got a big, beautiful selection of 2019 Buicks and GMCs at incredible savings. Listen to this. You can use a 2019 Buick Encore for just $82 a month. Or buy and get 0% financing for up to 72 months plus a $1,000 rebate. A 2019 Buick Edition is only $189 a month. On the GMC side, a 2019 is leasing for only $149 a month. Or buy and get up to 15% off MSRP. A Terrain is only $159 a month. Or purchase and get 16% off MSRP. For more outstanding offers, visit DriveSarah.com. At Sarah, we won't settle for anything less than your complete satisfaction. Stop by in August and discover the Sarah difference. Buick Encore, $82 a month. 2019 GMC Acadia, $149 a month. 0% financing and more. We're moving out to 2019, so you can save big at Sarah Buick GMC. M53 and 30 mile, right on the corner.
Tired of opening your closet and never finding what you want to wear? We can help. Stitch Fix is a personal styling service that matches you with your own stylist. Someone who listens to what you love and delivers the best clothes for you right to your door. With Stitch Fix, you'll get to discover new styles, new brands, and new looks to fit your unique shape and your budget. Discover the stylists and styles that work for you at StitchFix.com. Personal styling for women, men, and kids. StitchFix.com. Personal styling for everybody.
Is your bank, brokerage, or insurance company trying to sell you an annuity? Don't do it. They have very limited access to the highest rates available. You need solutions, not someone pitching you a product. Join Joe Uplegger for the Save Money and Income radio show right here on The Ticket, Sundays from 7 to 8 a.m. College football is almost here. Tune in Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. for The Ticket's special edition college football preview show with All-American John Jansen and Dennis Fifield.
Good morning, Jamie and Stoney. Jamie Samuelson, Mike Stone, and Heather Park all together once again here on 97.1 The Ticket. Tigers lose to the Rays 5-4. They'll take on the Astros tonight in Houston at 8:10. And when Jackson pitches for the Tigers against Wade Miley, Tigers 37 and 84.
They will face Verlander.
Oh, okay. Bet on that game. Mixture of sun and clouds today, high of 85 degrees. Time for news. We say good morning to Heather. What's up, Heather?
Hey, you guys. A seaplane actually crashed on Upper Straits Lake Saturday afternoon, and it hit a boat that was on the sandbar. Now, thankfully, when you hear that, you think people have to be injured, but thankfully nobody really was injured. There was one person that was taken to the hospital, but that was it. Obviously, there is an investigation underway to see what exactly happened, but it's believed that the plane was just trying to land on the lake.
I was watching the story on the news, and one of the witnesses said that this plane has actually done it before, where they just thought it was just going to like hit the water and then just go back up.
Yeah, kind of like playing a joke, not a joke, but just, you know, coming kind of close, but then going right back up. And I guess this happens, like you said, often.
Well, I saw on Twitter, I guess TJ Lang, maybe he lives up in that area. He was displeased with this pilot. Called him something in the that rhymes with douche.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Because I guess his wife and child were on the lake at the time, and it really created a dangerous situation.
Super dangerous. Don't do this.
Is Gators boat there, or is he?
No, that's on Cass Lake. That's on Cass Lake, yeah. But another witness said, too, that this has happened before, and that they're even scared sometimes to take, you know, people out on, like, a tube or pull people behind their boat, because these planes, or this particular plane, does that a lot, where it gets really close to the water and then goes back up.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, it's
unnecessary.
It really is.
Stop doing that.
And maybe, obviously, they will now.
One would think.
You would hope.
Yeah.
A skydiver died Saturday afternoon during a jump in Grand Haven. This 33-year-old man was actually part of this big event that featured about 200 other skydivers, but apparently he just abruptly fell to the ground unclear because they don't know exactly what happened. Did his chute get caught up in somebody else's and obviously caused him to fall, or did he try to, turn too quickly, which caused the chute to then drop? So they're actually interviewing some of the people who were there to try to get, first-hand ideas as to what happened.
So was it so the skydiver was not attached to another?
No,
it's not one of those-
individual skydivers.
So these were trained.
Yes.
It's not like because you've gone skydiving.
I have. It's not like that where you're jumping with somebody else. It wasn't a tandem jump. He was on his own. It's just devastating when you hear these things. And obviously people always think, well, skydiving is so dangerous, this could happen. Of course it could happen, but it's really not that dangerous compared to other things you do every single day in your life.
Right.
I'd rather avoid it.
No, but you're right. It's like you're the odds of you dying in a car accident are much higher
Yes.
than you dying
Much,
in
much
skydiving.
higher. Exactly.
Part of that's because but I'm saying per capita or whatever.
Exactly, that's true. All right, so Ezekiel Elliott is not going to be facing any criminal charges. Yes, over his Vegas altercation with that security guard. Apparently, after reviewing all of the evidence, prosecutors just felt that they couldn't move forward with any charges. And we're also learning in this case that this security guard, young kid, 19 years old, if you don't remember, this happened back in May, I guess. Elliott knocked over this security guard. The security guard fell over a metal railing. And at the time, the security guard didn't want to press any charges. No, I'm fine. I'm all good. But now we're actually learning that the security guard and his father tried to extort Elliott out of $500,000. Amongst a whole bunch of other things. Apparently, his father sent this big letter over to Elliott's attorneys and basically said they wanted a whole long list of things. Not only did they want that $500,000, they also wanted a public apology, a press conference, $25,000 donated to this football team that the security officer used to play on. They wanted tickets to some Cowboys games, Ohio State games, and they wanted some meet and greets as well.
Wow.
They said if we get all of these things, we'll stay quiet. We won't press charges. We won't come out and say anything. And obviously they did.
Yeah.
How does that meet and greet go exactly? Like, in the locker room, it's like, hey guys, here's a security guard I got into a physical altercation with. Say hi.
Yeah.
Can I sign some autographs?
Nice to meet you. Again, I still think we need a sports czar to decide what nicknames apply to which athletes. Because I saw the headline on this on ESPN over the weekend, and I thought that Isaiah Thomas was in trouble again. Right?
Well, it's like when you see
it says Zeke won't face charges for Las Vegas incident. And I was like, what did Isaiah do in Las Vegas? And it's Zeke Elliott.
It's like when you see LT, I think Lawrence Taylor, other people think LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, that should not be allowed. It's an outrage.
Why don't they just use their real names?
You think, but no, it's easier for the headlines.
I see.
Especially when you actually good clickbait too, because
True.
you're going to get the Piston fans
True.
and the NFL
Clickbait,
fans.
yes.
But they should use his real name, especially when it's a unique name like Ezekiel. Then you know who it is.
That's true. That's a very good point.
No. So a female TSA employee was fired from a New York airport after she slipped this random male passenger a note that said, "You ugly."
You ugly.
Not cute.
Yeah.
Yes, you ugly. Apparently the passenger said that after he opened the note, this TSA agent was just laughing uncontrollably, and he wasn't going to do anything at all after he just said, you know what, didn't bother me, shoved the note in my pocket, got on my flight, and carried on. But then after he kind of shared this story with some family members, they were like, dude, you got to say something, you weren't offended by this note, but somebody else could, and if it gets into the person, that's not, mentally stable, this could really affect them. So he actually was able to go and get the security footage of the incident, and then he called and complained to her supervisors, and she was fired.
Was there some episode that led to this?
No, it sounds like this is something she just does. Because he said he could see that she was ripping off another piece of this, cardboard paper to write another note to another passenger. I don't get it. I don't get why she found that hilarious, but apparently it's just something.
And she
There's no point.
literally handed it to the guy, or
Yeah,
she
so he
slipped it
could-
in his bag?
Oh no, she handed it to him. It was a folded up piece of paper. her as he walked through the metal detector. She handed it to him.
Yeah.
And he didn't open it right away, and she kept yelling at him, "You gonna open that note? You gonna open that note?" And so finally he opened it.
And was he in fact ugly, Heather? Do we
You know
know?
what? I couldn't see his face. So I don't even know if he was ugly.
Ugly is in the eyes of the beholder.
It sure is. That is very, very true. All right, so at some point in the very near future, Jay-Z could become a part owner of an NFL team.
All right.
We don't know which team yet, but sources say it could happen very soon.
And we pointed this out earlier. The Detroit Lions. You know, if there's a more obvious duo than Martha Firestone Ford and Jay-Z, I don't know if it's out there.
Yeah.
And that is just perfect.
I wouldn't bet on it, but you know, when Mrs. Ford does pass, I've heard talks that the children, they love the team and all that, but they want the money.
What about
and they would get a lot of
what
money.
about the son?
He has no say, I'm told.
Yeah. Bizarre.
But I don't know if that's true or not. I just,
Yeah.
you know, I wouldn't expect it to happen, but it wouldn't stun me if that team would be the Lions.
You know, I noticed about
Talking
that.
about your heart, not life.
The Lions have, under the Ford ownership, have never gone to the Super Bowl. Is that right? Yeah. So if they were to sell the team, I wonder if fans would view that as a positive. It's weird. It just dawned on me for the first time just now, Stone.
All right, so I like following Chrissy Teigen on social media. This girl shares basically everything that happens to her, and she's great. She's super funny, and if you follow her as well, you'll notice that she recently posted these photos where she says her lips were on the verge of exploding.
Mm-hmm.
And it all happened after she suffered this really crazy reaction to altitude sickness. I've never heard of this happening, but of course, she posted the photos on her social media. She was in Utah for a wedding, and she says that she got this reaction because of the altitude. And her lips are just very, very, very swollen, and she said that, you know, they were about to explode.
Is this true, or is this, she's using some sort of a collagen implant in her lips?
No way.
And it reacted to the altitude.
I don't think so. I've never heard of that happening either.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got lip injections and now I'm up too high and they're exploding.
But people do that, with their lips.
For sure, people, yes, it's
Lisa
all the
Rinna.
rage. It's
Yeah.
all the rage. People are getting the lip injections,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look like that when you see the photos. If that's what she did, she went very extreme.
I've just never heard of people whose lips
Me neither.
expand because of altitude.
I haven't either, but
It's
they're
called
there.
angioedema.
Yeah.
ANGIOEDEMA.
Didn't you date her in college, Stoney? Angioedema?
Not only did I date her,
Oh.
her lips were good. No, looking at this picture, God, it is brutal.
Yeah, very uncomfortable, I'm sure. All right, so Jerry Seinfeld is no longer the world's highest paid comedian. So every year, Forbes releases this list of the world's highest paid comedians.
I guess.
And in just a moment, Jerry Seinfeld has been number one in 12 of the past 11 years. But somebody passed him. Who do you think it is?
Sebastian Maniscalco.
No, but he is on the list.
Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart ranked in $59 million over the past year. Jerry Seinfeld made $41 million.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
So, this is obviously not just stand-up, it's movies and
Yes,
TV
and he's
shows
got
and everything
sponsorships
else.
with Mountain Dew and Chase.
Yeah.
He had a Netflix special.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at that.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Sebastian Maniscalco
Yeah.
is on the list.
I swear I saw his name on the list at number 5.
Because he sells out Madison Square Garden. He sells out big arenas.
Amy Schumer, the only female in the top 10, came in at number 7.
All right.
Yeah. Good for her.
Good for her. Good for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, 7:31. I lost track of time there for a second. Jamie and Stoney coming up next. Stoney went on vacation and lost a bit of childhood innocence. Can't wait to hear this story. That's next on 97.1 The Ticket.
Do you have your eye on a new home but need to sell your home first? Get the Z Guarantee, where your home is sold guaranteed or I'll buy it.
The Z Guarantee. Call Z. Call choosing a credit union over a big bank? You're gonna have to give up a few things, like added fees and continuous charges. Open your eyes to a credit union, and you'll get the mobile technology and convenience those guys charge for, while saving on everything from checking accounts to mortgages and auto loans to access at 30,000 nationwide fee-free ATMs. Get more without any give-up. Not already a member? Find a Michigan credit union near you at culinkmichigan.com.
As a small business owner, when was the last time you considered switching internet providers?
I don't even remember. Running a business keeps me pretty busy.
Let's compare your current provider to Comcast Business. Are you getting fast, reliable internet?
Sometimes.
How about a full suite of innovative services like separate Wi-Fi networks, 4G wireless backup, and advanced voice solutions?
I highly doubt it.
Sounds like Comcast Business could give you more. Make the switch to the nation's largest gig speed network now and get an amazing deal. Right now, get fast 75 megabit internet for $49.95 per month for 2 years when you add 2 voice mobility lines and sign up for paperless billing and auto pay. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Monthly service charge increases by $10 without paperless billing and auto pay. Offer ends 8/21/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra subject to change. Backup limited up to 8 hours.
If you've bought Nike or Adidas shoes lately, I'm sorry. Sorry that you didn't just get yourself some Skechers, because Skechers